Oh, okay. We're gonna white balance. Hey everyone, welcome back to 10 Talks. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great time with your families over the holidays. I know, back to school, all that stuff, but you know, routine can be good too. And I'm excited to actually get back to this routine where I get to see you guys each week and to share a little bit what's on my heart. I had a good Christmas too, but you know, I do have one Christmas rule. You know what it is? Not to try on any clothes that I get on Christmas Day. When I was a kid, every year I'd get sweaters or things given to me, and everybody said, "Oh, go try it on, go try it on." And you know, I'm kind of a bigger guy, so I'd come back and almost like 9 times out of 10, it would always be too small. And I'd come out and I'd feel like a little sausage just like squished in there. And you know what? It mortified me. I hated it. So I finally made a rule. I'm not trying anything on, because people would come out and they'd say, "Oh, the guy in this store was twice your size and it fit him. It'll fit you." Or they'll come and say, "Oh, it's one size fits all." Well, one size, let me be honest, does not fit all. I know that for a fact because I've tried on things that say one size fits all that did not fit. Even at Christmas, I got a new pedal train pedal board for my guitar. Pretty cool. And I had to go get these universal brackets to put my power supply on it. Well, needless to say, universal brackets, one size fits all, these didn't fit. I actually had to go and buy different ones to put it on there. So one size doesn't always fit all. But in one case, one size does fit all. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. In the Gospel of John, it's a great gospel. Jesus meets a ton of people. And I'm going to focus on 3 that happen in quick succession. It happens in John chapter 3 and John chapter 4. The first person he meets is Nicodemus. Now I'm just going to call him Nick, okay, from here on out. Nick was a Pharisee. He was a member of the Jewish ruling council. He was the cream of the crop, the best of the best. He was a religious leader and a religious teacher. You know, he must have felt a lot of pressure to know the right answers, but more than that, pressure from the other Pharisees as well on what to do about Jesus. You know, we read in John 3 that he came to Jesus in secret. He came at night so no one else would see him. And you know what? Jesus blew his mind. Jesus blew his mind when he told Nicodemus that he had to be born again. Nicodemus even asked a silly question. What? How can I be put back into my mother's womb? I know, crazy pictures, get it out of your mind, I know. But he asked that question. And Jesus told him, no, you have to be born of God. You have to be born of the Spirit. And then he gives him one of the famous verses of all time, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. God loved the world so much that he gave Jesus. That was amazing. And you know what? It blew Nicodemus' mind and it changed his life. I truly believe that Nicodemus was saved that day, because not too long later in John, we find him standing up in front of the other Pharisees and standing up for Jesus publicly. And then at the end of the gospel, very publicly, he actually helps take Jesus off the cross and helps bury him. What a far cry from coming to Jesus at night and secretly. So that was Nicodemus. And then Jesus met, right after that, this lady. She was a Samaritan woman, and I'm going to call her Sam. Okay, so we met Nick, now he's meeting Sam. And this happens in John 4. And she was a Samaritan woman. Now, Samaritans were despised people by the Jews. They hated them. They wouldn't even go into Samaria. They would travel all the way around Samaria when they had to travel. But no, not Jesus. Jesus purposefully went into Samaria. He had someone to meet, and it was Sam. Now, what about Sam? The problem was Sam was a despised person among a despised people. She was rejected, shunned, bullied, all those things. How do we know that? It's because she was coming to get water, and it says in the Bible at the 6th hour or at noon. at the hottest time of the day. That is not when you want to go and do a lot of work and lugging a lot of things. In those days, the women would go fetch water in the morning or in the cool of the day, and they would sit around and socialize and have a great time, and then they'd all go back together. But she was purposefully avoiding these women. You see, Sam, she was looking for acceptance, and she'd been looking for acceptance in the arms of men, and she had a long trail of men behind her, of broken relationships. And when she would go, I'm sure she was trying to avoid the sneers, the jeers, the comments of the other women to her. She was a despised woman among a despised people. She was seeking acceptance and belonging. So there's Sam, broken, beat down, despised, lonely, when Jesus came. And her life was dramatically changed because he came and offered her living water. She changed that day what she felt as being trash to a treasure. And we read that when she met Jesus, she understood that, she went back to her people and told everyone she knew about Jesus, and they flooded to Jesus, and many Samaritans believed that day because of her. Her life was changed after she met Jesus. And thirdly, right after Sam, we meet this other person, and I'm going to call him Roy. He was a royal official. Okay, he's from Capernaum, and he would have been a Gentile, not part of God's people, all right? And he worked for the Roman government, which the Jews saw as their enemy. And he was probably a centurion. We're not sure for sure, but probably a centurion. Well, his son became really ill. Like, we're not talking just sick. We're talking COVID sick. We're talking sick to the point of the brink of death. We're talking, this is super serious. It was a situation that was beyond his control, and he was desperate. And in desperation, he comes to Jesus, and Jesus miraculously heals his son, not even in person, but over a distance. He says, don't worry, he'll be healed. Go. And he went back, and his son was healed. And that day, that centurion and his whole family accepted Jesus. In these couple of chapters, Jesus meets Nick. He's a respected Jewish teacher. Meets Sam, a despised and rejected Samaritan woman. And he meets Roy, a Gentile officer who had a situation beyond his control, and he was desperate. You know what? These stories, I don't know what they say to you, but you know what they say to me? It screams one size fits all. What do I mean by that? It screams one size fits all because Jesus fits all. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your history is, doesn't matter where you've come from. One size, Jesus. Jesus fits all and answers all and heals all. Which one do you relate with in the stories that I told today? Are you like Nick? Maybe you've got it all together, seemingly on the outside. Maybe you're quite a respected person. Maybe you're feeling a lot of pressure from your friends to go away from Jesus and not to Jesus. Maybe you feel like Nick, a lot of pressure academically from parents or others. Maybe you feel like Sam. Maybe you have a history. Maybe you've been bullied, rejected, or hurt. Maybe you're looking for acceptance in different places as well. Maybe you're Roy. Maybe you're actually distant from God. You haven't been walking with God, but you're desperate. Maybe there's situations in your life that are beyond your control. It doesn't matter who you are, because when it comes to Jesus, one size fits all. Turn to Jesus. He's all you need, and He'll change your life. God bless you guys, and I hope that 2021 would just be an awesome year for all of us, and I pray that we'll all grow closer to Jesus. Talk to you later, and I'll see you next week.